deal with, and again, I don't want to be overturned by the Court of Appeals. I want to make sure all your constitutional rights are protected, but I also have a duty to be fair to the city too.
Yes, Mr.
So,
Burns have a right to file a motion. I understand for competency hearing, and I got the right to respond to the motion.
yes, you have a right to respond. So how quickly do you think you can get that done, Mr. Burns?
No, I can work on it today.
Okay. You think you can email it? Did you get an email? Did you get the correct email?
Is there an address that I can mail it?
No, email. That way we can get it done expeditiously. The email is Howard Days, HOWARDDAYS, the number 67 at Gmail.
I would indicate, sir, I think one of his issues is you make some, I don't want to say factual mistakes, but this is, for example, not the state of Florida. And you did incorrectly write down your not your phone, your email address. Your phone number at the time was, I'm not saying it doesn't work now, but you have a new separate phone number, correct?
No.
Is the 566-0047. So it's somebody else's phone at the medical center.
Yeah. It's an office phone.
All right. Well, here's what I could do. I'm going to wait on Mr. Burns to file this. Are you able to call in next week?
Yes.
So I just would like you to acknowledge receipt and give you some time to respond to it if you need time to respond. If he gets it done sooner than later, then we may be able to hear the motion next week.
It don't take no time to respond, 10 minutes. I already know what the law is, the rules, my rights are. It's clear. I already told Mr. Burns that he have to explain an exact activity that the court's witness, he witnessed, and lack of memory, clerical errors, and something that the appellate courts usually allow as far as for a competency evaluation to say I'm mentally incompetent. The fact that I'm filing all these motions as a pro se litigant show that obviously I know what's going on. I don't have to be A+, I don't have to be the best attorney, I don't even have to be a good one to be considered competent. It's just knowing details.
I'm saying, Mr. Douglas, my guess is that you would pass competency. I understand why he's raising the motion, and it's a CYA move, which is very practical on his part. You know, like nobody wants to have to deal with the Court of Appeals if they don't have to. But I want to make sure, number one, as I said, your rights are protected, but that I'm also fair to the state. So I'm doing both. He's going to put it in writing. I will review it. I read all the motions. That's why I'm saying I went back to my office to find the motion I read, the other day. I remembered one was a jury trial. You have not, did you physically appear in my courtroom ever?
Yes, twice. The last two hearings.
On November 20th and November 14th?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's right. I did meet you on November 14th. The last time was with Mr. Dowling. That was probably on the phone, right? Or no?
Over the phone,
No,
yes,
it
ma'am.
was in the courtroom. Yeah, I know when we said we wish to, so I know that you had a hearing date on November 7th and November 14th and then November 20th. So I was trying to be kind of consistent.
Yes.
And keep it once a week. If that works for you. So I'm trying to move your case as fast as I can, but again, I'm an I dotter and a T crosser. You get me?
Yes.
So I'm just trying to play by the rules. That's my job.
Okay.
And the Supreme Court is my boss, so I'm going to be very careful here, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll have to read over what he writes and what you write. So next week I am in 3D, correct? And, Josh, if you look at my numbers, 3D, we don't know how busy it's gonna be, right?
No, we don't.
Do I have other cases set, other than, I think I have a few pre-trials, right? Do we have the
Set on the 5th and 6th.
So maybe I put him on the 7th? Or at the end of the day on the 6th? Because I have a jury trial set on the 6th with, Ivan Lewis. So I can either put you late on the 5th, which is next Tuesday, or I can put you on, the 7th, which is a Thursday.
Judge, did you say a jury trial with Ivan Lewis?
Not jury, it's a bench.
Oh, I thought you said a jury trial. It's like,
My apologies.
that's okay. I just trying to make sure I have it.
Mr. Lewis is your client though, correct?
He is.
All right. And, Mr. Douglas, that you don't want standby counsel because the one thing about Ms. Tricarci is she does know the rules of the court, and she also is a very smart woman.
No, I don't, Your Honor.
I understand.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, so would you prefer coming in at 1 o'clock on the 5th or the 7th?
I'll come in on the 5th.
Is that January?
No, I was gonna make it next week.
Oh.
Because if I get a competency, that's gonna take time, if I make that decision.
Your Honor, can we, how about you put it on maybe the calendar for you order the evaluation now, that way maybe the doctors will be prepared, and by the time we have the evaluation hearing, if you rule in my favor, then you can just terminate the evaluation.
Kind of a good idea, time-wise.
Yeah.
All right. In which case, I'm actually gonna set you for the 7th, because if I refer you today, they won't have anything next week. But I can make the decision by Thursday. Unless you want it to be on Tuesday, Mr. Burns. I know that Mr. Douglas would like it on Tuesday.
I'll defer to the court.
All right. Well, I don't have anything on the 5th at 1 o'clock, do I? Oh, Kimmy, hang on 1 second. My apologies. So, Mr. Douglas, I'm going to make this on the 5th at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And if there's any issue, or let's say 1:30 even.
Yes, ma'am.
So between 1 o'clock and 1:30, and I'm going to have you call in again. Here's my question. What's the best number for if they were going to set up an appointment for a clinic to set up an appointment? Call this 566-0047 number?
No, email. I only have email right now. I don't have a phone. It's an office phone. Anybody may use this phone.
Oh, okay.
It's just like being at a recreation center and using a rec phone.
I gotcha. Okay, well, let me do this then. I'm going to give the court psychiatric clinic your email.
Yes, ma'am.
I have the howardday67@gmail.com. They'll probably email you something that says, what the date is, and I'm gonna say that, email is the best way to get a hold of you, and they'll let me know what your date's gonna be, so I can give you the date on the 7th if I make that decision, otherwise we'll just cancel it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll speak with you on the 5th at 1 o'clock, 1:30. All right?
1:30, January the 5th or the 7th?
I can make it, let's see. Actually, January, let's go January 2nd. That's a Tuesday.
What are these dates, Your Honor?
If you think that, I was gonna have him come in next week, but I'll make it January 2nd.
Okay. January 2nd for what?
Our next, hearing date, unless you want that to be your trial date, sir. Hello?
Yeah, no, I haven't even received discovery. I haven't even put the full motion to dismiss in. I'm not ready for trial January 2nd. I mean, I am ready, but I just rather do it the
I want to
appropriate
make
way.
sure
File
you have all your
motions.
discovery and we've resolved these issues. So, I'm gonna indicate January 2nd, but we may be emailing you in December to hear, for a Nelson hearing or for the, competency evaluation, okay?
And January 2nd is a hearing for what? That's over a month
But,
away.
probably a final pretrial or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, January 2nd could be a trial date. I'm thinking you saying December the 2nd. Yeah, you can schedule January 2nd for trial.
I can't set that date for trial. It's
Okay.
not appropriate on my calendar.
Okay.
I could make it a preliminary hearing, a final pretrial.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'd rather put something, I was gonna make something next week or the week after to discuss the, whether or not how I'm gonna rule on the competency evaluation.
Well, I guess when the state file a motion, then you put it on the calendar maybe shortly after that.
Do you think, Mr. Burns, you could have something filed by, next week?
Yes, Your Honor. We did make an oral motion, and I could submit a written motion by next week.
It needs to be in writing. What I'm gonna do is then set this for, let's say both the 5th and the 6th I have things, so I'm gonna make this for, the 7th. So next Thursday, sir,
Mm-hmm.
I wanna make sure you've received the written motion.
Okay.
So December 7th at 1:30.
Okay. So we're doing December 7th for the,
Competency hearing.
Well, to discuss the competency issue. And we'll see, I'm gonna do a referral now, and I'll either withdraw the referral or I'll let it go through.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, December 7th, same meeting ID, same password, 1:30. That's Thursday at 1:30, okay?
Yes, ma'am. And the state gonna email me those 911 calls?
no, sir, you can pick up the 911 calls. They are on a CD.
Well, you emailed them. You sent them to email to the public defender. So you can send them to email to me as well. It's a ton of snow outside and I'm in a wheelchair. So the faster I get those 911 calls, the faster I can put that motion to, we can get the next hearing going on. It's about trying to get things done expeditiously as possible. And that email can help me